Good evening and welcome to episode 4 of Get It Forward podcast. Episode 4. Bit of a different one tonight. We've got Simon Moore with us, and he's going to take us through his journey of non-league to the Premier League. Good evening, Simon.
Good evening, Simon.
Good evening, boys. Pleasure to be here.
Pleasure.
Good to have you, mate.
So let's go right back to Isle of Wight. Brought up on Isle of Wight. What's the football like on Isle of Wight? Is it?
Do you know what, mate? Like when I was younger, it was really good. Like it was real. There was a lot of buzz about it. You had Newport, Isle of Wight, who was the main team at the time. I think they're playing in like the Dr. Martin's Premier League. You had like Cal Sports, East Cowes Vics, and Braden. They were like the 4 main teams, but Newport were like the main team. I think they're like paying money at the time and stuff. I've got to say now that I don't think it is quite what it used to be. I don't think the sort of commitments there. Like playing football was a proud thing, but now a lot of it's changed. Like the commitment just doesn't seem to be there. And but certainly at that time, mate, it was a big thing to play for one of those teams. Yeah.
So telling us off air that you love of football started by going and watching your dad's team that you were managing, which was
Braden Town.
Dad used to play for Braden as well? Or?
Yeah. So my dad had a really good sort of non-league career. He played for a team called Roadsea Southampton, who aren't there anymore. He played for Fareham. He played for Newport and also played for Braden as a goalkeeper. And then eventually he became a manager of like a Sunday League team, I think it was. And then was when I was sort of alive, manager of Braden, and he was manager for years. And I remember at Braden, mate, literally it was like a ground in the middle of the countryside. 2 goals, that was it. And then by the end of it, it had like barriers around it, which we used to go down on a Sunday. Like all the lads, you'd get the lads to come down, fill in the concrete, put the metal bars in. My mum and like Lortz's missus Lee would be in the tea up making the bacon sandwiches.
Quality.
And it was like that was
proper community.
Yeah. So when I first went and watched, there's 2 goalposts with blue rope around the outside, and you had to get like grants to try and get floodlights. So you got floodlights, dugouts. You'd have the boys down there on a Sunday painting. Say they'd have a bacon sarnie, painting a couple of pints, and that was my sort of like upbringing. I grew up at Braden Football Club, mate. Yeah.
Every minute, every weekend spent just helping them develop facilities and everything, just for them to go to the next level.
And the thing is, mate, obviously I'm fortunate enough to play football professionally.
Yeah.
But these boys weren't getting paid a penny. They'd actually have to pay £3 and £5 subs because I used to have to collect it on the coach. My dad would send me up on the coach if we was playing away. Sorry, going to get subs off the boys. They'd be like, they're paying outside.
What a decent rate, like.
They're good as gold, but they don't. He'd send me up there because he knew that they'd be like, he's only a young lad.
Yeah, we better get him.
Yeah, but these boys were paying to play. But then also
then send you up with scratch card.
Exactly. Yeah, mate, I remember that as well. They used to pass the little Littlewoods thing round in a little pot, like scratch it off, win against, I don't know, 20, 25 quid. But like these boys were giving up their weekends.
Yeah.
Like, so say you work Monday to Friday, play on a Saturday, and Dad's trying to get them to come down on a Sunday. Massive commitment, and that's what I'm saying about the commitment being there. You just don't seem to get that now.
Yeah.
But the lads would, I mean, say my dad, I was talking to Lukey off air, like I've learned so many morals and values in football from him that if there was a social occasion, you make sure you're there.
Yep.
Even if you just come for 1 or 2 beers and you bugger off to the nightclub after.
Yeah. Show your face.
Just show your face because it was all about team spirit and all about like getting everyone together.
I think it's a good thing. I think obviously both of us are still in non-league at that sort of lower level, semi-professional level. You just can't believe the work that goes in by volunteers at these football clubs. We're probably at 2 clubs now, the way you see it firsthand. There's not an awful lot of money at these 2 football clubs that we are associated with, and this sort of time and commitment from these volunteers and it's exactly what you say, it's painting changing rooms art.
Yeah.
It's someone making teas and making bacon sandwiches. It's someone marking pitch and putting corner flags out.
Yeah.
And then players turn up and it's like sort of accepted a little bit. Oh yeah, this is just the norm.
Yeah.
And they don't really see what's gone in the background. And I think it's not until you sort of get onto sort of managerial side and background side that you think, Jesus Christ, it's not just let's just turn up and play.
Yeah.
There's so much that evolves in it.
It's the whole week, mate. Like I said, like when
you done hours 24/7 or seem to be working and then football.
That's the thing. He was a financial advisor Monday to Friday from 8:30 in the morning till get home at 7 at night, and then it'd be training on a Tuesday. He'd have his little blue book writing down the team and that. The phone would be ringing like when the phone was like on the hook, and you'd have to sit on the stairs. It'd be speaking. It'd be speaking to the assistant manager for an hour and a half on a Friday night. I don't know how my mum put up with it. Sat there on the stairs.
I'm going to say, I always used to be at the bottom of the stairs.
Sat there on the stairs, white phone, called it up, speaking to, his name was Steve Spilsbury. He's not anymore, but he was an absolute legend. And be sat there for an hour and a half talking, and then it'd be like that, and you'd be trying to get on the internet. Who's on the bloody internet? But no, it was like the commitment that went into it, mate. Like, and also having a job in the week and foot at the weekend. I remember as well, like on a Monday morning, going to or a Sunday, going to the laundrette with him. Kit bag full, take to the laundrette, get it sorted, and say to my mum, Christ,
I was just about to say, like, were your mum invested into it?
Yeah,
she come to the games, and
she's brilliant. Unbelievable. She come to the games, do the tee up. I loved footy as well. Like, I loved it. Anything like she, unreal.
So how about you inside when you were collecting subs and stuff like that off lads?
I'd say a first 18. Nah, mate. To be fair, I first started going, I think, when I was about 4 or 5, and then started like travelling away when I was like 6, and it was unreal. Like I used to start going to like away games. So like obviously being on the Isle of Wight, you'd have to get a boat to the away games. So we'd either get the hovercraft or the fast cat. So you'd meet at the ferry, and the boys as well. Let's go back to the commitment. You got a game on a Tuesday, you'd have to meet at the ferry at 3 or 4 o'clock. So the boys have to finish work early, half day, take half a day or whatever. So it was so hard. But yeah, so I started going to like midweek games, and obviously I'd have school on the Wednesday morning. But my mum, good as gold. No, don't worry about going to school. Oh, brilliant. Like, I didn't have days off.
Match day. So just on that as well, obviously playing in the Wessex League, having to travel over, was any of the players doing the opposite?
Yes. So there'd sometimes be 1 or 2 who would live on the mainland.
Yeah.
Who would come over to
so home games were an away game for them?
Home games would be an away game. Yeah. So there was definitely, it was quite rare, but there was seasons where there'd be boys that lived, I don't know, in Portsmouth or Southampton, where they'd meet on the other side and go to the game, or they'd have to travel over. Yeah. Which, again,
they'd have to get international dialing code.
So what population at Isle of Wight?
I think it's like 140,000, 150,000 people, I think. But the leagues were good, so you had like Newport, when I was real young, was in, like, say, the Dr. Martin.
Are they still going now?
Still going now, but
dropped off
mate. There was in like the Dr. Martin's Premier League. The pre-season, like Portsmouth would always come over and everyone go and watch. So yeah, like Dr. Martin's Premier League, they were in. Then you had like Cows who were in like the Wessex League, I think. Then Braden and Victor in like the Wessex 1 maybe, or the Hampshire League, I think it was called at the time, Hampshire League. So and then you had like the Isle of Wight Div 1, Isle of Wight Div 2. Then like combination 1, combination 2. So there's a lot of football, mate. Yeah, it's really good.
Good attendances and stuff like
that. Newport obviously would have the most.
What we're talking, like,
I'll be honest.
Braden getting the way.
Do you know what, Braden? Again, like when I first went there, they weren't getting a lot, but as people invested in it more, you'd be playing against a team like, say for example, Gosport. There might be like 200 or 300 people like watching on the sideline, and like a small ground, people around the outside. Brilliant. Like, it's so good.
So close to the pitch as well, isn't it?
So close to the pitch. Like, people shouting at players.
We've talked about that, like, obviously we'll come on to your professional career and stuff, but a lot of people who we've spoken to have been in professional game and played in front of 35,000, 40,000. Like, you don't hear these individual people.
Not at all.
Just a white noise.
Battering you. Yeah. You're obviously non-league. You do. You can actually pinpoint the person that's doing it as well. So
pre-season friendlies now, they're the worst. There's no idea, when your own fans are behind you, give me a stick, mate. It's the worst. But like literally, like when you play in like a big stadium, you don't hear it. You don't hear a thing, and I miss it a little bit because I quite enjoyed that a little bit. But I think the last like the one that stands out for me, and this was a long time ago. I played Warsaw for Bristol City. And the pitch is real tight, like real close behind.
At Walsall. Yeah, they've got like a 2-tier.
It was in the home net. So I think they got. I was getting abused the whole game. Absolutely, there was one geezer who was larger than life. He was hammering me all game, absolutely hammering me. I hadn't done anything wrong. So they got a penalty. We was 1-0 up, and I was like, here we go. So I'll save the penalty, and I just turn around, and I'm pretty chilled out. And I thought, now I'm going to give it. Like giving it, he's trying to get on the pitch. I was like, yeah, I love it. But yeah, when you play the sort of grounds that hold a lot of people, you don't really get that.
Interaction. Really. Like sort of non-league level, I've had banter myself. Obviously, a big lad myself, and had my fair share of banter. But I've always found that one, I think if someone's having a pop at you, you must be doing all right, because they're having a pop at you. But two, 9 times out of 10, you'll go in bar and he'll say.
Brilliant.
You'll shake your hand and say you took that well today. You're just trying to get into the skin of mine. I don't want to be here, and it's like, that's why we do it. So I think it's great. So
100%.
Yeah. So then, obviously, being around it as a kid, were we always a goalie?
Yeah, always. Like my dad was a goalie. My granddad was a goalie. My brother's a goalie.
Brother.
But
I wasn't sure if it was just your dad had like bullied you both into going.
Mate, where's your gloves? The complete opposite, mate. Like literally never. And myself and my brother are so lucky. Like my mum and dad are incredible. Like never put any pressure on us to do anything. I wanted to be a golfer when I left school. They said, "Go on then, go and be a golfer." I did it for 6 months, and I was like, "I ain't going to be a golfer." But the fact that they just went, "Go for it."
That's why when you watch it on telly. You think it's easy, that golf like, isn't it?
Honestly, Jesus. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, it was like, I loved it. And I was like, I'm just practicing here every day. I'll get it. I've got no money here. I was like, I'm going to have to get a job. Yeah. But never any pressure. Like my dad, like.
Even with all his football background and stuff like that, you do what you want to do.
I'd say the reason I played the goal was because of the goalkeeper, Steve Lawton, who was the Braden's goalkeeper for years. I loved him. I literally loved him, and he'd give me his gloves. I'd stand behind his goal. He's one of the nicest guys you've ever met. Yeah. But he was like the joker of the group as well. So it just had me in pieces. Like he was, even now to this day, he's so funny. I just loved him, looked up to him, idolised him, and like I just wanted to be like him. And it was weird, because most people don't really want to play in goal. And I just wanted to play goal, mate. Yeah, literally. Like
and same, obviously, with your brother's.
Yeah, my brother, I think.
And he just straight away from.
Nah, to be fair, I think I just used to stick him in the garden. So we had a 2-tiered garden back on the Isle of Wight. So we had like a pond, like there's a little pond there, a garden at the top with like a little bit of trampoline on. So I'd have like a goal down here. One of us would be bouncing on the trampoline. We'd like throw it up, make stupid games up where I'll throw it up, volley into the goal, swap it around, and. I don't know how Stu ended up playing goals, to be honest. I really don't. But he was
probably when you left, your dad thought, I need another keeper.
Yeah, I need another keeper. But I have to groom him into being a keeper. But to be honest, mate, Stu was good. Like he wasn't interested in football.
Why?
No, he wasn't interested for a lot. He'd just be on the PlayStation listening to like the Rasmus and literally he wasn't really interested in it till a bit.
So you know, like in terms of your upbringing, and you were always at Braden and that.
He wasn't fussed, mate. No,
every now and again you might see him down there. Or
he just wasn't really that bothered about it. And then all of a sudden he just got into it. And to be fair, he was better than me growing up. He went through the sort of academy route and used to go and watch him play and be like, Jesus, he's unbelievable. And he just but to start with, he wasn't really
spur each other on with that.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Like so we're a real tight knit family, and and It's lucky really because I speak to Dad. My dad used to take me. I'd be the one, like I say about Stu. I wanted to play all the time. I wanted to get better all the time. Dad, let's go over the field. Let's go over the field. From probably the age of 6 to 18. Dad, let's go over the field. Give us volleys. Do this. Stu, you come in. Of course, I'll be dragging him over the field. Like,
but if he occasionally did come, well, he was frustrating for you. I'm on here every week, and he's got PlayStation.
I say when he did start playing, he was class, but it was always me like hounding Dad, Dad, come on, like, and he'd do it. It'd take us over the field and take me over. But I'd be dragging Stu over. But then it's sort of, at one point it did change. Later on in our career, Stu would be the man. So we've got to go gym. So the roles were reversed a little bit, really. But mate, it's definitely So sort of going back to it, obviously, Lords used to love watching him, mate. Yeah,
you can still see him now, can't you?
Lords.
You still see him making the saves now.
Mate, honestly, he was like, I'm still really good friends with him now. Like, he's a.
I think regardless of what path you take, you always look back on them anyway. Especially your father figure as well. So we're exactly the same. We had. I was brought up on an housing estate in Rotherham, and at the top of our house there were a pub that had a 5-a-side pitch on the side, and me and my dad were always up there. Sunday nights, Saturday afternoons. It's like.
You just can't get enough of it.
No, and it was just like football, and like I think my dad's knackered on his legs now, and I'm thinking that's probably why I was dragging him up like Bridlington on beach, game of footy, game of cricket, whatever you could do sport-wise.
Tennis, anything, whatever were available.
Dragging your dad up all the time.
I was literally like my dad had come home from work, so financial advisor, 8:30 till 7. Up in the garden, Dad's having to go with cricket. Let's go play cricket straight away. All right, come on then. Like literally straight in the garden, I'm like bowling here. You got dinner. Stay out. Like, it's unbelievable. It's great. Like, so lucky. Like both of us, so lucky to have had that.
So then you go on to play for Brady.
Yeah. So like obviously,
what age do you make your debut there?
I would say I would have probably been about 14, maybe. But it was like, so Braden had 3 teams. So the first team, I'll go back there. The first team, the reserves, and the A team. So the first team were in like that Wessex League, the reserves were in Isle of Wight Div 1, and then the A team were in like combination 2 or something. So I didn't actually start playing for a team until I was 11, 12, and it was called Braden and Newchurch Youth. So like they'd got a team together. So I got from 6 years old, maybe going to like little soccer schools or something, but not actually playing. And then Braden started a youth team, because it didn't have a youth team. Braden and Newchurch Youth, it was called. And started playing for it. I played a year above. I think I was 11, and it was like under 12s or something. Maybe we used to get bad every week. Oh, I got 10-0, 8-0, 7-0. If it was under 10, you've done well. But it was like, I loved it. Like, it was class. And I look back now, I'm lucky that I had that, because my mates had played for, I don't know, a team, for example, called Shanklin. They'd win like 20-0 every week. Goalie would be stood there with his feet on the post, having nothing to do.
Yeah.
But at the time, obviously, I hated losing.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake, like, lost again. But I look back and go, nah, it was good that we were getting peppered, because I was getting stuff to do.
Yeah.
So literally, I played for them, and then ended up, I think I played for them for a couple of years, and then went on trial to Southampton.
Right.
So I don't know how, I'm not quite sure how that happened. Really.
Southampton fan?
No, Man United fan I was as a kid, because you're from the Isle of Wight, you can support who you want. There's no team over there, so it's like, don't get wrong, you should support Portsmouth, Southampton.
What year will this have been then, Si, when you went on trial at Southampton?
2002 that was, mate.
So they would have had
James Beattie, Anthony Amy.
Good side.
Premier League team. Yeah.
Would they have been in St Mary's then, or was there
Yeah, so the first ever professional game I went and watched was at the Dell. I remember getting Jason Dodd's autograph, and for me as a young lad, it was against Stockport, Southampton versus Stockport at the Dell on like a Tuesday night or something. My dad took me over, mate. I was so buzzing, like literally. I can't remember how old I was, but to see a professional footballer, to get to meet them and shake their hand. No photos or anything at the time. It was just a signed program, sign program, unreal. So I'll never forget that. But yeah, when I went there. I was there for a year. They was at St Mary's. Say it's an established Premier League side. I think Gordon Strachan was manager. But yeah, so I've gone from Braden and Newchurch Youth to a 6-week trial at Southampton. Did a 6-week trial. Somehow ended up getting a year contract. I have no idea how, because goalkeeper training on the Isle of Wight was, you know what it's like before the game. Right, go, we go and goal. 13 people line up. Shoot, you're trying to save everything. to go to Southampton, where the first team goalie coach, David Coles, was taking the academy to going over cones, catching volleys. I didn't know what a volley was. Doing these footwork drills, and I'm like, I ain't got a clue. Like, never seen anything like it. So, somehow managed to get a year contract and end up going there. And again, at Southampton, our team was pants. We used to get peppered, and I'll be honest, mate, I was tiny. Used to go and play these teams in London. The boys are like 6'2", shooting from 30 yards, going over my head. They were like, I was pants. And at the end of the season, I ended up getting released. They said I was too small.
Is that the reason to go?
That was the reason, but it was.
Is that 15 now? 15-year-old by that?
I was in there for a year, so 12 to 13.
12 to 13.
Released because I was too small, which it was a right decision. I wasn't good enough. There's no way I was good enough, but maybe they said. And I've got a funny story about Colsey. I was terrified of Colsey. When I was 12, 13 at Southampton, he was the first team goalie coach. And Christ, I'd never done any of these goalie sessions, so I was petrified of him. But he's one of the best goalie coaches I've ever worked with. At the time, I was scared of him. So I got released from there, mate, and then ended up coming back to Braden, and that's when I played for like for the A team. But going back to Colsey, fast forward 10 years, I was at Cardiff. So I've gone on loan to Bristol City in the January. So I went, right, you're going on loan to Bristol City. Oh, yeah, brilliant. Go and play some football. Didn't know. I knew the manager was, obviously, but didn't look into it at the time. It was just, right, I'm going to Bristol City to play some games. Yeah. Didn't know the goalie coach was nothing. Turned up there, knocked on the manager's door. Hey, tell you what, Colsey, this is our goalie coach.
That's quality.
He went, fuck me, you've grown a bit. But for me, it was like, Christ, like, last time I see him was like 10 years ago. He was a proper hard taskmaster, and I'm like, and I was only there from January to the end of the season. But my one probably regret is I wish I'd got to spend more time with Colsey, because in them 3 months, he was unreal. I was in the best shape. His sessions were class. And he lives and breathes goalkeeping, and I don't think Colsey's working now, but he should be.
I was about to ask you that if it's still in the game at a minute. But
he was at Southampton goalie coach, he was Portsmouth goalie coach, West Ham goalie coach, and I know he's been at a few other clubs, but he was class. Absolutely.
So you had no idea that you were going to turn up to Bristol City this day.
And Colsey was there. Nah,
didn't have the coaches here and Colsey was.
He didn't have a clue.
Even the fact that he still remembered.
Yeah,
that he was there as a 12.
Honestly, he's top coach. Got so much time, so much respect for him. Yeah.
So when you went back to Braden, Southampton, Alicia, had they started paying first team a little bit? Were they a little bit of money, or were these lads still paying a little bit to play? Or
there was never any money.
Weren't there? No.
Nah, never. Like even say from the start to the very end. Nah, there wasn't. But it was good because I must have been, I don't know, 14, 15 maybe, playing for like the third team. So like the third team would kick off at 2, and my mum used to take me and like one of the other lads turn up, would play at these grounds and that. But the first team kicked off at 3. So we'd play, and as soon as the game's done, in the car, my mum straight down to, if Braden were at home, straight down there, straight down the lane. I'll be buzzing if we got the last half hour, because it was a good, like on the Isle of Wight, to play for Braden was like in the Wessex League was something, because you used to get these teams coming over to play, and it was a big thing. And even then, even like 14, 15, I just loved Braden. I wanted to. Obviously, my dad was a manager of the first team, so you go back there, and it was class.
Yeah, it was good.
So then we'll go forward a couple of years, I assume. So your dad has to make that decision. He's throwing you in.
Yeah, so like obviously I went from the A team, which like a natural progression up into the reserves, and then I remember having like a really good season for the reserves, and then I think Lortz was still in goal, so he was still in goal.
So you always laugh behind watching him, and still playing.
So literally Lortz was in goal, but he used to go to Florida on holiday like most years, so it's like Christmas time. So there's 2 games, and I remember being 16, I think it was. Lortz was away, played Gosport away. Gosport was like paying money at the time, they were decent. Like Lortz away for Gosport. So it's either my dad goes in goal, which he did quite a few times over the years. Like if Lortz weren't playing, we drew Aldershot in like the Hampshire Senior Cup. And I remember So I never really got to see like Dad playing goal because he'd stopped playing fairly early to be manager and that. Everyone used to say, "Oh, Dad was unbelievable. Dad was unbelievable." Never really seen him play. And I remember being about 11, 12 maybe even 10. Braden got Aldershot away in Hampshire Senior Cup. Aldershot were in like the conference at the time, Braden it. So this was another thing. You'd get the coach up with the families, everyone. So you'd meet at like 2:00 at the ferry. You'd have like players, mums and dads, friends, and all that. Big coach all the way up there.
That's class, man.
To go and play 2 scratch cards. That
yeah, subs a tenner to literally. So you get a coach up there. And it was a proper occasion to go. We played at Aldershot's ground, the recreation ground, which was like it was a big thing. So I've been going on the pitch before the game, like kick a few balls at Lords, unbelievable. But the same Lords couldn't play that one because he was away. So my dad went in goal. So Braden kicks off, 1-0 up, and then I think the centre half said to the other centre half, "Should have done that." Should have done that. I think Braden ended up losing the game like 5-1 or something. Watched my dad had a blinder, made some unbelievable saves.
Was it a 5-1 a decent result then for you at that time?
Yeah, 5-1. Yeah,
They took that before.
They was in the conference playing whatever, and then like literally Braden, you have to pay to play in that. But that was when I first saw it. He filled in a few times when Lords was away. But yeah, that was like Lords was away, and I was old enough then to play. So I think I played that one. Then I played it maybe one more, and then the next season was when I think I started to play for the first team. Was a bit
As Lords got towards end, were you like getting close to like retirement?
I think Lords might have played a few games. I can't remember. He might have gone into the reserves.
He dropped down into reserves for
well done. Yeah. I can't remember, but I remember playing for the first team. 16, 17 or something. Yeah, 16, 17.
I'm sure looking back on that now, you'll think, it was a good decision dropping down. Like you've got a magic career that you've had and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Dad dropped me on Christmas Day once when we played against Cows. He put Lords back in, I think. I said it was definitely the right decision at the time.
Do you still speak to this Lords guy?
Oh yeah.
Because that's a nice story that like you I suppose idolised a goalkeeper. Like obviously kids nowadays are idolising all your Beckers and Schmeichels at World and stuff like that. But it has to start somewhere, doesn't it?
Yeah, he was, and he took a kids team on when I must have been 14, 15, and I was like his assistant manager.
Well, yeah.
So we'd have kids training on a Saturday morning over the school that I used to go to. Kids training Saturday morning, and then I'd go home, bacon and egg sandwich, go and play for the reserves of the 18. Then Lords would go and play for the first team. And it was just Braden, Braden was Braden. Literally, that was it. It was just football the whole weekend. But yeah, no, I should keep in touch with him a little bit more than I've done recently. But no, he's one of my closest friends. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So then a full season?
Yeah. I think I played like a full season, and I remember we played Cheshire United in the FA Cup, and we lost 5-1. I think it was. We played. I can't remember the team that we played first round, but it was like the first game in the FA Cup. It was on, I don't know, if it's been ITV 12 or something like that. It was one of them ones where like the first game, and it was on Wantage Town FC. So again, we're playing Wantage Town FC away on it might be the Friday night. All the families come over, a couple of coaches up, organised on the ferry, brilliant. Beat them like 1-0, and it was really good. It was a big thing, like FA Cups on like some sort of TV, don't know what one. And then I think we played Cheshire next round, and
because they've been decent, weren't they?
they were good, Cheshire United, they were really good. And I think that Dad's after that game, he called it a day after that. I say I'll have to ask him but yeah, no, he said he called it a day. It might have been, I think I might have been moving as well. I can't remember. I had all sorts going on, but I ended up going from Braden to that was it. I think I was going to Farnborough. So Farnborough, we played Basingstoke Town in that Hampshire Senior Cup the previous season. So they'd come down to Braden on a Tuesday night. And Basingstoke at the time were in the Conference South. So they kind of thought of anything worse. We've got Braden Town on the Isle of Wight on a Tuesday night, and I remember them coming down. We lost the game 1-0. I think we played really well. And then the following season, I think Farnborough somehow inquired about me. I went to Farnborough to train with them. I was buzzing, like, fine, brilliant. It was in like the Southern Premier League or whatever it was.
What's your travel there then?
Yeah, so I was at Braden, and I think Farnborough, I was leaving to go. So I think that's probably why Dad probably stopped as well, to try and help me with my career.
How many, just before we just go into this Farnborough, how many years service did you not give to that club?
Where was it from when I was about 5 to 16, so that's
11, 12 years.
11, 12, and then playing from...
I think biggest his decision whether he knew you were on this upward curve and he wanted to follow your career and he probably wouldn't have time to do.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'll have to ask him what was going on at the time, but
I just did a stinking result against Cheshire.
I've done. The Suns got a step far. I remember at the end of the season, I can't remember what happened, but I remember coming to the end of a season, and I was at school as well at the time, so I was done 3 months of school. Like, I was 3 months of sixth form, and then says, "Mum, Dad, I want to be a golfer." So I quit school. Ended up doing that and playing footy at Braden. Like, anyway, got to the end of that year. I think I was 17, and I think who was it? Yeah, literally got to 17, and then Farnborough said, "Yeah, let's have a look." Went up there, trained with them, mate, and they said, "Yeah, we're going to give you a contract." So I was like, "Amazing!" But so obviously on a Tuesday, I was working at the time, so that was by the time I'd finished playing golf. I had to get a proper job.
So I was working what?
Oh mate, I had about 6 jobs before. Yeah, literally. So my first job was with a ferry company on the Isle of Wight called Red Funnel. Used to work in the offices. I was hopeless. 9 to 5. I was that hopeless, they just made me sit there and scan documents from 9 to 5. Put a document in, bang, 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 comes up, right, save that. Yeah. Oh, crap. So I did that for 3 months. And yeah, I was just playing for Braden at the time. Did that for 3 months, and I was like,
Not for me.
So my mum worked in the Halifax Bank. She was manager. Dad was financial advisor upstairs. Somehow I got a job at Halifax as a cashier. Now I only got that job because my mum was manager, because there's no way
she got an interview.
Thank God there probably wasn't an interview, mate, because I wouldn't have got it. I was hopeless, but give me the job. And so I played for Braden, work at the Halifax, and I went to Halifax, to be fair, for about, I'd say, over a year, and I actually really enjoyed it. But I got to that point where I was like, "No, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life." No. So I went back to college in Portsmouth called South Downs College, and they had like a link up with Havant and Waterlooville. So it was like a sport, it was like a football degree.
Do a lot of that now, don't they?
Yeah, it was like football. So I did that for a year, but the thing is, I had to drive from my house to the hovercraft, get the hovercraft over, get a bus to South Downs, which was like an hour and a half. So I did that every day for a year. Yeah. And after that year, mate, I just went, I can't do it. I can't do it anymore. So that was when I went to Farnborough, and they paid a little bit of money. So I was a waiter in the evenings, and then played for Farnborough. And mate, I'll be perfectly honest with you, I didn't play. I played 2 cup games at Farnborough. Used to be on the bench. So I'd travel on a Tuesday, leave at like 2:30, get up to training for like 7, train, get the 11 o'clock boat back. Did that Tuesday, Thursday. Jesus. Saturdays I'd leave at like, I'd have to leave at like 9 in the morning, go and get a boat. One of the boys would pick me up the other side, take me up the motorway, up the A3 to Farnborough, and I'd just sit on the bench. Sometimes I'd travel all the way up to London, and I wouldn't even be in the squad. So I'd come all the way up from the Isle of Wight, and they're paying me a little bit of money, but I was doing that, working as a waiter. I was working as a waiter and then playing football at Farnborough. The manager was class. His name was Francis Fines, lovely guy. Yep. I just remember him coming up to me, like, say, if we were playing somewhere bloody miles away, he'd come up, he'd say a word. I'd be, oh Christ, can't put you on the bench today because there's too many.
Oh my!
And I'll be like, it's all right, don't worry about it. Thinking I've travelled all the way up from the Isle of Wight here at 9 in the morning, all the way up to London, and I'm not even on the bench. So this happened for a season.
I was thinking to myself, so when you were doing these jobs, I was thinking, are you doing these bit part jobs? And no disrespect to them, but because you know you're going to make it pro. But obviously not.
No, not at all. I had no idea.
You're not even getting in on benches and stuff like that.
So I wasn't even on the bench. And then halfway through the year at Farnborough, so So obviously I was doing a bit of part job as a waiter.
Yeah.
Had a few little bits here and there. A guy I know was a teacher. He's like, do you want to come and work at the school with the special needs children? So I said, yeah, like, love to. It's a proper job, Monday to Friday. I said, the only thing is I've got to leave early on a Tuesday and a Thursday to go training. Yeah, fine. So started working on the Isle of Wight at a school. I was 17 at the time with like special needs kids. And because I thought I'd quite like to be a PE teacher, that's the route I want to go. I want to be a PE teacher, maybe go to uni and train to be a teacher. So this is a foot in the door. So I did that at Mayfield Middle School. Would leave early on a Tuesday and a Thursday to go up to Farnborough. And then got to the end of the football season at Farnborough. They started to sort of not pay me as well. I'd still be travelling over, but they didn't pay me. And it was like, but I'd still have the commitment to come over. Got to the end of the season, and they sacked the manager. And then, so new season started, and I heard from no one. The manager who'd come in, rang me up, left me a voicemail. It's so-and-so from Farnborough, new manager, just let you know that you're not going to be needed next season, blah, 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 sound. So I didn't have
met you before.
Yeah, no worries. So this is brilliant. So I was like, okay, no worries. So I'm working at the school, I've not got a club. So there's a couple of clubs in like Braden's League that played on the mainland. I remember at New Milton Town they were called. There's me and my dad went and met the manager. We had to get a boat over, obviously. Met him in Gunwharf Quays, which is a shopping centre down in Portsmouth. Yeah, really want to take you. I'll give you like 30, 35 quid a week. So I'm thinking, okay, like, sounds good. But I was thinking, so I've got a school job. I was literally like, I was a bit all over the place really. I'm working at a school which wasn't great money. They offered me that, it's a big commitment, 30, 35 quid a week. So okay, so he's like, listen, have a think about it, see what we're going to do. So okay, so at the time, someone from the Isle of Wight, his name was Dennis Cooper, he's not here with us anymore, unfortunately. He put my name forward to Brentford for a trial because he knew someone there. He said, listen, this lad ain't got a club. Give him a chance. So didn't think anything of it.
Brentford will win.
Brentford were League One at the time.
One, yeah.
League One. So I work at the school. So I've said to the school, look, I've been offered a trial at a professional football club. I had to go and speak to the head teacher. I'm all right to go. Yeah, of course you can. He's brilliant. Really nice guy. Mr. Boom, his name was. Really nice. Yeah, brilliant. So I've gone on this 3-week trial to Brentford. Bear in mind, I've not played a game all season at Farnborough. Geezer's come in and said, don't want you. I've been offered 30, 35 quid to go and play in this league. And so I've gone up with my dad to Brentford. Right, okay, you're playing in a trial game. First game, guess who it was against? Farnborough. Against Farnborough, mate. The first game.
And the guy who said,
not needed.
He was still managing money.
So I turned up at Farnborough. To be fair, it was like Brentford, pretty much youth team.
Yep.
Turned up with the Brentford youth team. Darren Sarr was a manager who's been a manager in quite a few league clubs now. I've turned up there, like, obviously nervous as anything. I got my Adidas World Cups on and that. I had an absolute blinder.
Did you?
It was just one of them nights where everything. I think we ended up losing the game, but I just made save after save, come from crosses, and yeah, it was just nice. It was like, right, so anyway, he's like, right, training tomorrow at Osterley. Went on trial at Brentford.
Is this trialing with the youth team or are you?
No, so I actually was training with the first team. So like, I come from the Isle of Wight like to Brentford, and it was just like, it was unbelievable, mate.
That's a bit of a whirlwind, isn't it?
Oh man, so I was working in this school.
I'm just thinking from sort of 8-9 months earlier, you're waitering, you've gone up to Farnborough, you're not getting named on bench, you're not getting any money.
Nope.
And then guy says, we don't need you, so you're probably thinking, it's crap, but it's a blessing in disguise because I've travelled up there for the last God knows how long. And I'm not getting any money.
Yeah.
But then we come back and I'm like, wait, I'm just got my job at school now, where am I going from here and there? Yeah. That's how quickly things can change for you, isn't it? So kudos to the kid who did you
to Dennis, he put my name forward.
What a legend.
To the chief exec. And I say I've always been hugely grateful to Den for putting my name forward to the chief exec, saying give him a go.
Give him a go, yeah.
I played that game against Farnborough, went training with the first team, and then I played another game against Sutton United. Again, played really well. And then I was there for a couple of weeks, and obviously I'm from the Isle of Wight, so me and my dad are up there. We've had to end up staying with family relatives in Chertsey. So it gets to the point where I've been up here 2 weeks now, like, you sort of need to know what's happening.
Yeah.
So there was a game on the Saturday, and there was another goalie on trial as well. And he's played the game on the Saturday. I've just sat there on the bench, done the subs runs after and that. And I'm thinking, I'm not really sure what's going on here. So they said, look, come in again next week. So I've got like 3 weeks in. My job at the school, I'm like, I can't really take any more time off here. Like,
ring at school again. Saying,
look, can I sign up for another bit? So anyway, I've gone in training on the Tuesday or whatever, and there's team photo day. So the boys are all getting their kits on to get in the team photo, and I'm thinking, I don't know what to do here.
This is awkward.
So Andy Scott was the manager at the time, and Scotty's come over, chuck me a shirt, get a photo. All right, okay. So I'm like stood there like that in the photo, and he's called me in after and said, right, don't go and get yourself a sports car, but we're going to offer you a year's contract.
Wow.
I'd have signed whatever it was, mate.
Yeah.
And I think I did, to be fair. I would have literally, so we're going to offer a year's contract. So I'm like, oh my God, unbelievable. Like, okay, yeah, where do I sign? Literally anything.
That's unbelievable.
So I've gone out and run with Dad.
You'll never guess what.
They're giving me a year. Like, I think it was like 200 quid a week. 200 quid a week. I was on 150 quid a week at the school.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't care, mate.
It's that.
I didn't care. So it was like, 200 quid a week. And so Dad's like, buzzing, absolutely buzzing.
Brilliant.
So I've not thought about anything, not thought about where I'm going to live, not thought about a car, nothing. So I haven't even driven on the mainland. Like, I'm down the way, all the roads are little lights. I've never driven on the motorway before. So literally,
awesome car.
I hadn't even driven on the motorway. And so I had to go back to the Isle of Wight, pack all my gear up. I had to go to the school headmaster. I'm really sorry. I'm going to have to quit. Been offered the professional contract. He was like so happy for me.
Yeah.
He was buzzing.
Which makes it even sweeter.
Oh, he was buzzing.
Yeah.
So anyway, right, where do I live? Right, I'm going to have to stay with relatives in Chertsey and then travel in. It was about 40-45 minute drive every day. So I've gone to Brentford. I've signed for him, and we had. I signed as I didn't even know what. So we had Lewis Price, who is a top guy, was on loan from Derby as first choice. Second choice was Nicky Ball, and I was number 3. So 5-6 games in, Andy Scott wasn't having Pricey, who I think Pricey's a top goalie, but for whatever reason he wasn't having him. Put Nicky Ball in. Nicky Ball done his shoulder, so we ended up signing Wojciech Szczesny from Arsenal on loan, and we had 6 loans at the time, and you can only have 5 loans in the team. So he's left Pricey out, and he's put me on the bench. So I've gone from not playing at Farnborough, not even being in the squad, to League One, sitting on the bench, like at Brentford, and I'm like, unbelievable, like absolutely buzzing, getting a little bit of money to sit on the bench, which is paying for me petrol and me rent and everything. And about a month in, 6 weeks in, I didn't have any money. Literally, I was living in London. I had to pay my car to travel in. And I ended up moving to Guildford, which was like an hour away, with my uncle. Yeah. So I'm travelling in an hour every day, hour back, petrol, car, giving my uncle some rent. Literally, I had nothing. So I've gone up to the chief exec and said,
Maybe chance.
Look, I love it here. Yeah. But I can't afford to. I can't afford it. So he's like, leave it with me. So a month passes. I thought, okay. Then Magic calls me in. I'm training, doing well. I play reserve games. What's this? You've been asking this chief exec for more money. You've only been here 2 months. Yeah, Gaffer. I love it. I absolutely love it. But I just can't afford to. I can't afford to do it.
Yeah.
She's like, I'll tell you what then. How about I'll give you £300 a week and another year on top? I went, buzzing, like, yeah, going out, Dad, they give me another year or £300 a week, like. So, and
he always got it.
Yeah, he was good to me.
Yeah.
He gave me my chance, he gave me my chance at the game, and I'll always be grateful for that.
He's obviously spent a lot of time in Yorkshire as well. We United and Rotherham and stuff.
His brother Rob, I think, is heavily involved. But I'll always be grateful to Scotty and Terry Bullivant for giving me the chance in the game, and ended up making my debut under Scotty on the last day of that season. So yeah, just a bit of a mad story, really. Mate.
Where was the debut?
It was at home at Griffin Park against Hartlepool. Another funny story. Like, it was 0-0. Chesney, mate, come in, done unbelievable. He's 19 years old. Obviously, look at the career he's gone on to have.
Crazy, isn't it?
So I was on the bench.
I never even knew he went there.
Yeah, he come on loan, done really well. Obviously, as I say, the last game of the season comes around and got to the 90th minute, and Scotty's gone, go and get warmed up. So I'm like, he's like, no, seriously, go and get warmed up. All right. So I go down the sideline, warming up. He's coming back. No, I'm coming on. So he's taking Chesney off to like a standing ovation. The crowd are absolutely buzzing, like, because he's done really well and put me on for the last 5 minutes, mate. And
Brilliant.
there's a picture of me like shaking Chesney's hand, coming on the pitch. I've got like grade 6 all over, baggy kit, Puma gloves, World Cups on, and I just remember
and a big smile.
Oh mate, I was so nervous, mate.
Yeah.
Oh my god, like.
Your mum and dad did that one?
Yeah, I think mum and dad was there. Yeah. I remember the first thing I had to do was take a goal kick. Shelled out of play. Did you? It went miles into their half, but
I'm assuming away end, because obviously you always kicked it away and first, then kicked it home. And
away end. We are Liverpool fans, yeah. But so I literally come on for the last 5 minutes. During the 0-0, luckily didn't have to touch the ball apart from kicking out and playing. And actually started the next season. I literally started the next season at 20 years old, I think. So.
Scott still manager.
Yeah, and Scott's manager, yeah. So literally we signed a new goalie, Richard Lee. And Rich is a really good guy.
You were at Chelsea, weren't you?
Rich was at Watford. He was at Watford for years, yeah. So signed Rich, and me and Rich were competing through pre-season. Rich had come into play, and I'd had a really, really good pre-season. And I remember playing Crystal Palace on a Tuesday night, and usually you play your sort of starting goalie the last game before pre-season, and I played, and ended up playing against Carlisle on the Saturday, making my debut. So
Still pinching yourself at this time.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. Like, I couldn't.
So less than 18 months ago, you still.
Yeah, I was working in a school with no club, and literally 18 months later,
It's a great story. It's a great story. And to be fair, to non-league lads, that's the route, isn't it? That's the route, I think, in terms of like grounding and seeing how difficult it is to actually make a bob or two as well sometimes. It's not a given, is it?
And this is it. Like, obviously, my brother Stu went for a different route. He was at Portsmouth from like 13, 14, got bought by Reading at 16, ended up going down the scholarship route. And there's different ways of doing it. And he's an unbelievable lad. Like, and he went through a different way. And I'm just happy that I had the route I did, because I got to live life early. I used to go out to nightclubs.
Yeah.
Like, I used to do stuff that you wouldn't have been able to do as a scholar.
Yeah.
I worked. I went out. I went out on the Fridays. I went out on
You
the
had a
Saturdays.
proper 18-year-old life.
Yeah, I had a proper life up until the age of 19.
Because of where you've grown up on Isle of Wight as well, if you had been a pro in a scholarship, you'd had to go and live in digs anywhere somewhere, wouldn't you?
Go and live in digs. That's what. So Stu had to go and live in digs from the age of 16 to 18, and I look back, mate. I'm lucky the way it's worked out, but I'm so glad that it did go like that, because I could. Don't get me wrong, I would never go out on a Friday before a game because my dad would kill me.
Yeah,
like, would never do that. Like, if anyone
That's
went
why I
out,
can see in you, if you were hungover, he had to go in.
yeah, he'd have to go, mate. Yeah, he'd have to go. But that was one rule. Like, you don't go out the day before game. Like, so never do that, because I saw if lads did go out, I saw him get it from my dad. I'd give it him, and so I never do that. But I just sound lucky that I go out on a Saturday. I go out every Saturday. I went out every bloody Saturday. Live the life of a normal person. Whereas if I was a scholar, it would have been very regimented and that. So it's also taken me a real good upbringing as well.
5 years at Brentford, 4 years?
4 years at Brentford, mate.
Different managers, just...
Yeah, so Scotty was there for the first year, and then halfway through the second season, he got sacked. And I actually went on loan to Basingstoke. So I started the season, played in League One against Carlisle, lost 2-0. Then played against Cheltenham on the Tuesday night in the Carling Cup, beat them 2-1. By the Saturday, we'd signed Alex McCarthy on loan from Reading. And who was the other goalie? Rich. Yeah, Rich was there. Yeah. Rich was on the bench. I wasn't even in the squad. So the previous Saturday I played, and then on the Saturday after. Literally ended up going out on loan to Basingstoke Town in the Conference South.
Yeah.
They said I need to go get some games. Not quite ready. So, okay, no worries. Went to Basingstoke, played a few games there. Didn't have the best of times. Didn't do great. Good bunch of lads, but I wasn't great. Then Scotty got sacked. I got recalled. I think Rich got injured, and Simon Royce was the goalie coach. Royce, top man. Royce was signed as a player coach. I remember. I think Rich must have been injured. We played Dagenham and Redbridge. That was it. Rich got injured. I got recalled. Played Dagenham and Redbridge on a Tuesday night, and it was between me and Royce to play. Royce ended up playing. I think we lost the game, and then Scotty got sacked after that. And then Mark Warburton and Nicky Forster took over as interim sort of managers. I think they put me in for a few games. Rich was back fit, and then he'd done his shoulder. I ended up coming on for the last 15 minutes against Leyton Orient. Made a really good save, won the game 2-1. I think I got a little run for about 10 games. But so obviously I played Carlisle, lost 2-0.
First couple of games.
Played Cheltenham 1-2-1. Come on against Leyton Orient.
Yeah.
And in the fourth game, Brentford had got to the JPT final at Wembley. And then Rich done his shoulder against Leyton Orient. So I've come on against Leyton Orient. Next game's Carlisle at Wembley. Wow. So my fourth ever career game, playing in front of 45,000 at Wembley in the JPT final. So I've gone from flipping that to my fourth ever appearance at Wembley.
Which makes it even more, like we just said, against that 18 months off.
Yeah.
Can I take your order, sir? So we're at Wembley.
Mental, mate. Yeah, mental. So
and we came up on bus from Isle of Wight.
Oh, there was loads. They've had a few trips to Wembley, not successful trips, unfortunately.
I remember a couple of them, I'm sure.
Oh, mate, honestly. So yeah, literally, I think on my fourth game I was playing at Wembley. We lost the game 1-0 to Carlisle. I remember made a really good save. Yeah, made a really good save after 5 minutes. But even back then, just to see yourself on the TV and stuff, maybe rewinding it, watching the save. But yeah, we lost 1-0, and I look back at the picture. I just look so young. My hair's all over the gap. Like, I've got your curls there. Now you get your haircut and stuff. Like a right scruff there, spotty hair, all over the gaff. But yeah, literally. So I ended up playing at Wembley, and then I think I had a run in the team under Warbs and Nicky Forster to the end of the season, and then they brought Uwe Rosler in as manager.
Yes,
and Uwe, superb, brilliant. He was class. Literally pre-season come, I was still on I think £300 a week or whatever it was.
Oh yeah, I was about to say.
I was still on £300 a week, and Uwe's come in.
You couldn't drop on chief executive car park.
Yeah. I was trying to look for it, I couldn't find it. Still. And then in the summer we went to Germany pre-season, and Uwe's come up to me and says, we need to give you a better contract. We need to give you a better contract. So I was like, yeah, brilliant. So Uwe was class.
He did well there as well, didn't he?
Did really well.
Yeah.
And so pre-season again, it was me and Rich, and I think Rich might have got injured maybe. But Uwe started me that season. Uwe started me, and it ended up that was it, sort of it. Really didn't really look back. He proper gave me my chance. probably give him a chance.
You have a full season under him then?
Had a full season under Uwe. We ended up getting to playoff final. We lost to Yeovil.
Back at Wembley?
At Wembley, so all the Isle fighters come up.
Oh, God.
We lost again. But no, Uwe was superb. Like that wasn't the first season. First season, me and Rich sort of like had
ins and outs.
Ins and outs. And it was the second season. He gave me the contract first season, so like, you give me a better contract. So he played me in like the JPT, played me in like the cup games and stuff. And I think towards the back end, he started playing me more. And then it was the following season that I've got a shirt. And he played me every game. And the best bit about Uwe was, that was my first full season, like up to January time, played pretty much every game. And then I remember having a little bit of a dip. And he said, have a quick word. Yeah, of course. So we're walking around the training ground at Brentford. And he's like, is everything all right? Like, everything all right? Yeah, fine. He's like, look, listen, you're a young goalkeeper. You're going to make mistakes. But listen, you're number one. You're going to play. He's like, don't worry about it. Like, you're going to play between now and the end of the season. Like, just get through it. And that 20-minute chat was brilliant. From then on, to the end of the season, I had a really good, strong end to the season, and so we ended up getting to the final on penalties. Won a penalty shootout, that was awesome. And then, so unfortunately lost in the final. But yeah, I was grateful to Uwe for giving me a chance.
So in total, how many appearances for Brentford over that, spanning over that then?
I'd like to say like 60, 70 appearances. Yeah. And then I had a really difficult decision to make. Cardiff had come in for me. Yeah. Brentford had offered me a new contract.
$350 a week.
Yeah, $350 a month. They'd offered me a contract, but we just lost the playoff final, and Cardiff had just been promoted to the Premier League. They'd offered me a 4-year contract in the Premier League. And I was like, I can't turn it down. In hindsight, what I should have done, if I'm being completely honest, I should have said, yep, I want to come, but loan me back to Brentford. Yeah, loan me back to Brentford so I can carry on my development. Yeah. And then that's a big mistake of mine.
So what manager at Cardiff won right now?
It was Malky Mackay.
Yeah,
Malky Mackay. So they'd just been promoted to
Vincent Tam chairman.
Yeah, Vincent Tam was chairman, which is interesting time to be there. But no, I should have loaned myself. I should have said, no, I'm only coming. Yeah. But I'd seen Premier League 4-year contract.
Oh my gosh.
Christ, like I couldn't turn it down.
Life changing.
You just don't know if that's going to come back round, do you? As well, I suppose that brings through your mind, you know.
If you say no now,
or you say, "Loan me back." Are they going to be?
Could have got injured.
Could be all
things a bit different. So anyway, I had a difficult conversation with Uwe saying that I want to go, and he wasn't too happy, but he was class because when I did sign for him, he called me and said, "Look, good luck to you. Like, you deserve it." And he was top man. I just wish that I'd gone back on loan, but I didn't. They had David Marshall in goal at the time, who was unbelievable. Marshy was in God mode. He was so good. So I was never getting in. Joe Lewis is number 2. Joe's a real steady, good number 2. Peterborough, yeah, Big Joe, great lad. And I'd signed as third choice. So I've gone from playing week in, week out to third choice. Training was class. Jim Holman, goalie coach, was superb. Like, training was brilliant. But it got to Christmas, Malky got sacked. Solskjaer, I ended up coming in as manager.
Wow.
And I was like, I want to carry on playing. So that was when I went to Bristol City.
Right.
But
did you go knock on the door to go?
Yeah. I went in and said, I want to go play games. Kept hounding, I want to play. Yeah. So eventually managed to get out.
Were you just playing reserve games at the time?
Yeah, I was just playing for the reserves, playing for the reserves, not getting anywhere near the first team. No. I say Marshy was, I think he ended up getting goalkeeper of the season in the Premier League.
He'll have been busy, weren't he?
Got relegated, but he was unbelievable. Yeah, he was top drawer.
What other players you got in that lineup in Cardiff?
Who did you have there? Stephen Corker at the time, who was playing around the England setup, who was really good, centre half. Who else did you have there? I think like Mark Hudson, centre half, who was class. Yeah. Craig Noon. You had some really good players. Bellamy was there.
Bothroyd was
there a little bit before me, I think. You had some really good players.
Yeah.
They're a good bunch of lads as well, to be fair. But yeah, I wasn't getting in.
The left-footed lad who passed away recently.
Peter Wigham. Yeah, which was there. Yeah, who's unbelievable.
Class player, wasn't he?
Great player. He was a great player. So yeah, you had a good team, but obviously the Premier League, it was a tough job for Solskjaer. I went to Bristol City, and then at the end of that season, come back. Joe ended up going out on loan, and I was number 2 to Marshy in the Championship. Managed to get a few games. Ended up playing a few games there, and then I think I stayed for another season. And I was ended up staying at Cardiff for 3 years, and it was all right. Like, it wasn't my happiest times, but I liked it as a place.
You just wanted to play.
The lads were good, and I was 20. I was 23 when I moved there, so I didn't want to be sitting on the bench.
No.
I needed to make a name for myself. I needed to go and play football, and I had 2 years left on my contract. And I remember going into Martin Marks, the goalie coach, who Marge was class. Kept hounding him every day. Marge, I want to go. I want to leave. Or wait till we get someone else in, and eventually, obviously, got someone else in, and that was when Sheffield United come in.
Just thinking, like, back to obviously the step back with Brentford. Still obviously a young goalkeeper and that, but then I suppose you're in that mindset that you've had that full season as Brentford number 1, 40 odd games, whatever it is. Really well, got to a playoff final, and obviously the playoff final's a lottery, isn't it? Sometimes it's best on day, isn't it? Normally tends to win, but I can sense then from obviously you're talking about it that it's you just want to push on them.
Yeah,
you've had that enjoyment factor of playing week in, week out. You've got that form in yourself. You're playing for a manager that's come and said when you were down, you'll get back right, and you know your confidence were high. And then obviously you've gone to Cardiff, and well, who are we to blame moving to Premier League? Jesus Christ, it's an unbelievable achievement, isn't it? But I get from your mindset, you were like, I just want to play football.
I just want to play football, and literally, like, I knew that I wasn't going to be playing there. I'd had a few opportunities now where Marshy had been suspended or got injured, but I knew I wasn't going to be number 1, and I had to make that decision of. And to be fair, at the time, I remember when there was a few clubs that were interested, and I didn't care. I just wanted to go and play football, and then Sheffield come in, I was like, I've got to go. I have to go. And I remember
Wilder, wasn't it?
Yeah, Chris Wilder. And I remember as well. I actually took a pay cut of pretty much half my wages to go to Sheffield at the time, because obviously Cardiff were in Championship, Sheffield was in League One. And I was like, no, I don't care. Just tell me.
Couldn't get out of League One, actually.
Couldn't get out. No. And I knew how big a club Sheffield United was, because I played there with Brentford, and I loved playing against Sheffield.
Yeah,
it'll be one of the first fixtures that I looked at when we got Sheffield United away, because I loved playing in Bramall Lane. It was like they were the team, and when they come in, I was like, buzzing. And I ended up taking a wage cut to go there, but I thought this is almost, in terms of wages, it's a step back. But in terms of football, it's one step back to go 2 steps.
And it told you you were going to be number 1 at this point, or
so I've gone up from. God, literally drove up there. I think I played for Cardiff on the Tuesday night against Bristol Rovers in the Carling Cup, and on the Wednesday I was driving up to Sheffield to go and sign for Sheffield United, and that was when I went in the office, chatted to Chris, chatted to Nilly, and then sort of things were sort of breaking down with the contract, and I remember actually leaving, thinking I'm going to have to go back to Cardiff here. And then I ended up driving down the motorway, coming back to the training ground and getting everything sorted. Right. And then by the Saturday, I trained on the Thursday and was playing against Millwall away on the Saturday. Wow. But yeah, that's going from making a poor decision by going to Cardiff and not loaning myself back to making the best decision of my own career, taking a wage cut to go to Sheffield. And that was best decision ever made. Yeah.
And that season
was unbelievable.
And that group of players, probably more importantly. I know you've got obviously great affectionate contacts with Billy and Jags and people like that who have played a lot of games for the club as well. But just talk us through that, because United couldn't get out of that league, could they?
No.
Try as you most had lost to.
So I'll come in a little bit, because I were part of the staff at that point. Yeah. It's funny he mentions the Millwall as his debut. because that was
away.
Millwall away.
Millwall away, 4th game into the season.
Yeah.
Lost all 4.
Lost all 4, yeah.
Man, stinking start, didn't they?
Yeah.
Chris Wilder says, what we're going to do here. Pulled up, they had a whip round, and pulled into the Premier Inn and just loaded the coach up full of beers.
Full of ale.
Full of beers.
Before a game.
That's why we lost.
Literally said to him, fill your boots, didn't it?
I mean, to be fair, mate, and I actually missed out on that because I had to go back to the Isle of Wight to go and get on with. Well, I had to go back to Cardiff or the Isle of Wight to go and get my clothes and stuff because I've gone from Wednesday, staying at the hotel at Bramwell Lane Wednesday night, training Thursday, travelling to London Friday, even signing forms on the Friday, playing Saturday, and then Wilder said you can have Sunday, Monday off to
go and get yourself
go get your gear and that. So I was gutted. Probably knew I was having beers on the bus.
Is that what he did?
Leave my stuff.
Pulled up. Sharpie went in.
He sent Sharpie off, yeah.
Sharpie went in, came back, and then it was like, he's whistling.
Cracing.
Yeah, so he's whistling, and then it's like, need an hand. And then all players, one by one, like fetching a crate on, and...
What's it back from Millwall?
4 or 5 hours.
4 or 5 hours. It's a decent swill, isn't it?
Decent driver has to have his 45-minute break.
Yeah.
That would be a big
so
job.
Is that what it is? So that the catalyst then?
That was the catalyst.
I think we went on like a 16-game, 17-game unbeaten run after that. But for me, like that season, I had a few bits going on off the pitch that pre-season, like sort of personal issues and that. And it was one of them where I was like, I'd never been. Obviously, I'd lived in Cardiff, but I'd never been. Like, I'd only been up north for footy. I'd never lived up there or anything. So my mum was worried sick about me moving up to Sheffield, thinking, bloody hell, that's miles away. So I moved up to Sheffield on my own. Like, Christ, this could go this could go anyway. So, but I ended up moving up, mate. That team we had that season was special and led by Sharpie.
I was going to say, well, but like you lad, Southerner coming up north, which I'm sure you got a fair bit of stick for or whatever. What did Sharpie want main man for you in terms of like,
unbelievable.
Settle you in and that, show you the delights of Sheffield and.
He was awesome. Honestly, Sharpie is. I can't speak highly of him. Like,
and he's the same with you though, isn't he? I think he's come out 2 or 3 times and said like how much you got on like during your time when you were there and stuff.
I think Billy were embarrassed by the season before.
Right.
And that drove him on.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put up with that.
Bill's a winner. Bill's a winner.
Like, he pulled that group in.
Club supported as well and stuff,
It weren't so much the 11 that played and the 5 subs.
Nah.
It was the 20 to 25 lads. Longy obviously supporting you every day.
Superb.
James Wilson's that had just come in and have a couple of games and never put a foot wrong.
No, exactly. We had you are so right there, mate. We had a squad of 25. We didn't have a squad of 11. But going back to the non-league days of my dad saying, you need to just come for a couple of beers. Even if there was a team function, Sharpie, you had to come. He would make sure, he'd organise stuff, he'd make sure you come.
Yeah.
And that team bonding element, he was unbelievable. Yeah. And the thing is with Bill, he was a leader on the pitch, leader off the pitch, but he loved that football club. And he was just, you wanted to do well for him. I wanted to do well for him.
Yeah.
I looked up to him and it was like, obviously he scored like 31 goals that season, but you looked up to Bill because it is just passion for everything.
Yeah.
He was, honestly, I can't speak hard enough.
Because I can remember watching, obviously, being a United supporter myself, and it was weird, I got to Notts County away, and I think Rochdale were in league at the time. I went to watch Rochdale.
3-3 we drew away. 3-3, unbelievable.
I think Matt Dome played. Did he play for them at that point? Did he?
Donny was at.
I think he used to play for them in Scotland for United, and stuff. But it was like strange growing up like United were always Man City, Man U, Newcastle, and you're like,
I think one of the big results was Fleetwood away.
1-0.
1-0 Ebanks Landell in
the header,
late one.
And that was so when you think we'll be all right here. Or
there was a lot of times like that where we scored like last minute goals, and it was just a special group. Like the lads were unreal. Come to every function. Gaffer was class. Like it was just one of them seasons where everything was brilliant. And yeah. Probably.
And on a personal point of view, you were named in PFA League One team at season, weren't you?
Yeah, I think there was 5 of us that managed to get in the team of the season. You could have put all 11 of us in there that season. Like could have put all sorts, but literally I think it was me, Duffs, Kez, Flecky, and Sharpie. That was a quiet night down in London.
Very well, yeah.
But no, it was.
Did we not train?
Don't know. No, I don't think we trained in it.
No, it wasn't there. There was some other award.
Yes, it was. It was one that I think Bill and Flecky got the players.
Bill and Flecky went
League One player of the
and
season.
then it was sort of like a training session for sponsors there after a brother there. You know when you've seen the Escape to Victory when they've got the false head and they're holding like a dummy together? That's how it worked. People had to hold Sharpie and Flecky up.
Because they've been out of flashlight.
Literally arrived straight back and had to go out to train.
It always comes across to me like Wilder seems a right down to earth manager. Again, come through a non-league route with his management style and stuff like that. What do you like? What do you like? A genuine. Go and get yourselves a beer, lads.
Yeah,
what are you decent in that sense?
As long as you give everything for him. Yeah. Obviously, there's times where you have to rein it in and you have to put a stop to stuff and that. But no, literally, and that was the thing for me. I loved it, and he got the balance right of the new school, old school sort of methods, really, and that's what was needed at the time. And he managed to get a group of players together who also had a point to prove as well. I think a lot of the boys, like me coming from the Championship, there's a few lads coming from sort of League Two. There was a group there that just all had a point to prove, and it just worked. And Jake Wright, mate, who didn't lose a game for however many games, and there was a lot of lads who had a point to prove, and it was just one of them seasons where everything just clicked, and that was one that you always remember.
Dan Ward, goalie coach into then?
Wardy was class goalie coach. Yeah, he was excellent. So again, right up there with one of the best coaches I've ever worked with. Sessions were brilliant, and top sessions.
And you said Longy war.
Longy, so that with Longy, literally, I remember coming in, and I've got a great story about Longy. When I was at Brentford, first season it was it first season? Yeah, it was first season. When or it might have been, it's first season. It was Pricey playing goal, I think. Played Sheffield United away, and I was 19, buzzing, obviously to be there on the bench. One of the first times I was on the bench and that. And Longy was like a 19-year-old kid. Longy's a 17-year-old kid on the bench.
Well, a 17-year-old man.
17-year-old man.
Big old unit.
And I remember we both was warming up at the sideline, and I went, "You all right, mate?" He went, "I didn't do this." So I thought, "Oh Christ!" Yeah. And anyway, I signed Sheffield years later, and I told him about that, and he was laughing his head off. But I'll never forget it. But I'll come in, and I say it's difficult. You're coming in, taking someone's place. I've always got on with every goalie that I've worked with, and I just remember chatting to Longy, saying, "Oh, I'm looking at this place to live." Tapped him up close, and he's like, "Oh, I live there." I was like, "Oh, brilliant!" So, do you want to go and grab some food and that? So we went and grabbed some food and just got chatting about goalkeeping, chatting about all sorts, and just ended up becoming really good friends. And Longy had it tough. Longy played a lot of games for Sheffield United at a young age, which is unbelievable. And he's also one of the hardest working pros I've ever worked with. And everything Longy gets out of football, he deserves because he's really worked for it, and he deserves it.
Yeah. So then, Championship.
Yeah, I got promoted to Championship. Unfortunately, I got injured last pre-season game against Rotherham. I had to come off, and Eastie come on. So we had a great group of keepers there as well. First season, me in goal. Longy, did Longy go on loan? I don't know if
he went to Wimbledon.
He went to Wimbledon. Was that no? It's following season he went to Wimbledon. So Longy was left out completely, and Ramos was on the bench.
Yeah.
So me in goal, and Ramos on the bench. Young 18, 19-year-old Ramos, and it was just me. I remember coming up as well, and I was like, right, we need a goalie's not out. So me, Ramos, Eastie, and Longy we went out to the Gray's Inn, Ecky Road, on a Tuesday night, and then ended up somehow in Viper Room. Don't know how.
Be like 4 Swedes walking in, all 6 foot blondes.
But that was the best thing. The team spirit was so high. Like we had a great.
Here's another one though, Ramsdale, that just looks like he
Ramos
likes a party and likes a laugh and a joke. And
Ramos is a great kid. Great lad, and you knew then that he was gonna be good. Like really, really good lad, and I'm so pleased that he's done as well as he has done. But yeah, we had a real good GK.
Your neck of woods now, isn't it? So
he is
pretty much,
miles away. But we had a great group of goalies. So it's like me, Ramos, and Longy. Fair play to him, was still training his nuts off every day. And in the January, Ramos ended up getting a move to Bournemouth, and Longy ended up coming on the bench. And most days, Longy was better than me. He was unbelievable. He was unbeatable in training. And I think Wilder even said it at Northampton away in the changing room after, like, he was sort of going around saying about sort of different people. And he's like, if you would have chucked any more in, he was playing next game. Like, made a point of it. Like
the Northampton game when all crowd came.
That was one of the best.
They took off it into that.
That was one of the best memories I've ever had. But that was testament to Longy because he was unbelievable.
Yeah.
But yeah, championship season, mate. Longy went on loan to Wimbledon. I played the pre-season ready for the championship and injured my knee against Rotherham. So they ended up getting Jamal Blackman in. So Jamal come in, first game, unbelievable, beat Brentford 1-0. And I ended up having to, I think I come back about 6-7 weeks into the season, sat on the bench. First game was the derby, Still City derby, Sheffield Wednesday away, beating 4-2. That was the first game I was back involved in, which was brilliant.
Ridiculous.
Oh, it was unreal. It was just,
when they equalised.
Which was
Jow
went to Reading, weren't it?
Yeah.
You're moving.
Yeah, people said that. Obviously, they were bouncing about, weren't they?
It was ridiculous, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I think people on benches also looked at it.
Then
30 seconds later.
They went up the other end and then flipping chopped through everyone and then smashed it in. And, yeah, it was brilliant. But yeah, that was the first game. And then I think a few games after, I remember, did Jamal get injured maybe? I'm not sure. Yes. But Chris put me back in. Ended up having a little run in the team. And then I think I got sent off. Then Jamal come back in. Then he got sent off. Then I'll come back in. So it was a little bit of a, but we ended up playing sort of half the game each that season. Yeah. So, but we had a hell of a season. We'd just come up from League One, ended up finished 10th, I think, which for the first season back in the Championship, pretty good going.
And you played the reverse derby game that season. Yeah. What was that like playing in that atmosphere then?
Yeah, it was special, and I'm proud to have played in a Steel City derby. I remember obviously it wasn't the best game.
No.
But to keep a clean sheet in one of those is something.
I know we talked about it before we set up, and there's that part in that game. I remember, I can't remember if it was your own defender that clattered.
Yeah, it was Stacey, yeah.
So Stephen had clattered you. You got a dead leg or something like that?
I got winded in the face.
And you were out, you were down on the floor, weren't you?
Yeah.
And it dropped to them. It didn't look like there were any danger. And reach it, that volley, didn't you? You managed to get across your line, and it was a great save.
I know at the time, I didn't. Be honest, to be fair, I say to Stacey, it was my fault. I shouldn't have come for the ball. It was yours, all day. But anyway, I've come here and out, punched him, and then made that save. And even to this day now, this was 7 years ago, people still say, remember that save you made?
Yeah, people talk about it, absolutely.
And you don't realise just how big a thing it is until you're in it, really.
Well, to be fair, if it goes in, it was late on, weren't it?
It was like 91st minutes.
It goes in, it's game, set and match, isn't it? And bragging rights and going on the other side of the city, which is a massive thing in Sheffield.
Even the postman said to me, well done, great save. Cheers, mate.
So then, like you said, decent season. Finish
10th, I think it was 10th. Yeah, we definitely had a really good.
We're up there to start with, and sort of tailored off a bit with, and then the season that changed everything again. Yeah,
so I remember being in Portugal with Sharpie, playing golf, and he's gone to me.
Better than you were when you were 18? As a golfer?
Nah. I've never been that good. I've just got a good attitude. I remember playing Larangel golf course, and he went, we've just signed Dean Henderson on loan. I went, have we? So I was like, all right, sweet. So anyway, come back. went in the pre-season, and I had the number 1 shirt, and I've come in and Geelan, so it's like 25 this year. So I was like, okay. So I was like, no worries. So anyway, coming, remember training for the first couple of weeks, and I actually met Hendo. I was like, yeah, if you need anything, mate, let us know. Ended up dropping him at the hotel after, having a chat with him, and ended up going for a coffee with him, I think, next day. Just always get on well with the goalies. And I think a few sessions in, I injured my quad. So Hendo played. And also in that summer, so obviously, I think I had a year left on my contract. Hendo's come in. And I remember West Brom coming for me in the window. And they had offered me like a 3-year contract. And I thought, well, obviously I'm probably not going to play here, so I thought I'm going to have to go.
A bit nearer home.
Yeah, a bit nearer home. Nowhere near the otherwise. So I thought at the time, then I'm going to have to go. So I had a couple of chats with Chris and said, look, Chris, I think it's probably best that I go. And he's like, don't want you to go. So anyway, ended up staying. Got offered a deal at Sheffield United, like a new deal. A couple more years, so I ended up staying, and just ended up okay. I'll get the shirt. I'll battle with Dino like pre-season. So Hendo played all the pre-season games, and usually when the goalie plays the last pre-season game, that's the starting goalie for the next week. So I thought, we had Doncaster away on a Friday night, and turned up to do like set pieces at 2:00 out on the pitch. So I'm just sort of stood there like sort of. Gaffer's got team tonight, more in goal. So I'm thinking, I wasn't expecting that. So, mate, we've gone to Donny. I just had one of them games. I made save after save first half, and the boys are going to Dino on the bench. What are you playing next week? Dino's like the most confident character, and he's like, Christ, like I just turned into Spider-Man that night. And you see on the sideline people like clapping like after about the 6th save. So I'm coming at half time, Wilder's hammering everyone. And anyway, I won the game 2-0. I've had a blinder and I thought I might have a chance here, like starting. So anyway, season rolls around and Gaffer went with Hendo. And to be fair, it was the right decision because he was unbelievable.
He was phenomenal.
He was phenomenal. And I remember that season, I think we lost the first 3 games of the championship season.
Yeah.
And I thought, I might get in it.
Yeah.
Nah, like literally, Dino was special. I mean, you only have to look at what he's gone on to do.
Yeah.
But again, we had that team spirit, mate. We had that unbelievable team spirit, and went on to get promoted to the Premier League, and from bottom of League One against Millwall to getting promoted to the Premier League within the space of 3 seasons was incredible.
We used to play around there at that time.
No, I left first season in Championship just after Christmas.
Yeah.
Sunderland Boxing Day on my last game, working at Sheffield United.
Sunderland Boxing Day, mate, 1-3-0, didn't we?
1-3-0.
Yeah.
So yeah. So then
it's still going to be one of your best times in football from what you've achieved as a group of lads that were there at United and stuff like that.
That 5 years I had at Sheffield United were obviously my happiest times in football, and hopefully I've still got a few more happy times at the moment. I mean, we're going unbelievably well this season.
It looks a 4-horse race, doesn't it, at the minute?
Yeah. I mean, you know what the Championship's like. It's a real...
Well, that last week was just crazy, wasn't it?
Crazy.
Obviously, Burnley and Leeds were playing each other. You're thinking someone's going to drop points. Maybe both of them did. United got thumped at home.
Did you see the Leeds TikTok?
I didn't see it.
Where they've done the highlights.
What it?
It shows you kick off and
Final whistle. And then obviously you guys were at home against Plymouth, which maybe they were a wounded animal and that in terms of like the changeover of staff and stuff.
It just shows like the Championship's such an unpredictable league, and it's such a difficult league to get out of. But yeah, certainly so far in my career, obviously that 5 years there were.
So as a group, you got out, get into the Premier League.
That season
as well. As a fan then, or are you still? When you can.
When I can, yes. Obviously, involvement in non-league that obviously takes priority. But yeah, I've watched both derby games. And like Morris said, it were a drab one at Lane. And I think that we're not as much to do with United, more to do with obviously Wednesday coming in, they needed points, they got a new manager in, they sat back in and absorbed what they could, and they were, I think, did Mr. Pendenty and stuff. And,
one of the best players I've ever played.
Oh, unbelievable. And still doing it now at Nottingham, which is great for him, obviously being back at his hometown club.
Yeah.
Yeah, always supported United. So, yeah.
So we're going to Premier League. Who's keepers then there? Yourself?
Me and Dino.
And Dino?
Me, Dino, Eastie.
And Eastie?
Yeah, me, Dino and Eastie. Did we sign Ferrips that season? I'm not sure if Ferrips was first season. Or yeah, sorry, we did. We signed Michael Verrips. So it's me, Dino, Verrips, and Eastie. And then obviously Dino being on loan from Man United, I knew that he couldn't play against Man United, so I thought, oh, it looks like I'm going to be playing against Man U. But no, just to be involved in the Premier League, and one person that signed that summer as well, who is someone who's become one of my closest friends and someone that I looked up to is Jags. Signing someone like that at that time. Yeah. The experience that he's had was a brilliant decision to bring someone of that calibre in, and what a great man. Honestly, what a great man, what a great career. Like
the game he played against Man U, what a great game for neutral, wasn't it? Like, also,
yeah,
obviously at that point me and you weren't.
Right,
but
it was hilarious.
It was a great start, didn't it?
So obviously I think about 20 from the other one come up for that one. And so we were obviously playing against Man U. We're 2-0 up after 75 minutes. I played against the team I supported as a kid in the Premier League. I'm keeping a clean sheet. I'm looking up thinking, this is unbelievable.
This is class.
8 minutes later, we're 3-2 down, and I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, I've come herring out for the third goal. I don't know what I was doing.
Is that the Rashford one?
Oh, yeah. I've come herring out. Terrible goalkeeping. But so we're 3-2 down, and then last minute, obviously, big goal pops up, 3-3, and it was just, it was.
Because there was a bit of VAR on that as well.
VAR, it was a real sort of tight.
As he took it down.
But you know what? The atmosphere that day.
Yeah.
The atmosphere in like a lot of the games. I love playing at the Lane, but like that Premier League season, some of the games, some of the results we had in that were.
I only went back once when they did Premier League, and it was the West Ham game at home. They did VAR in the last minute when Rice handballs it, which is the dodgiest handball I've ever seen. He squares it to Snodgrass until West Ham fans have gone ridiculous, and then it went on for about 10 minutes.
It did, Just on your time, then, in terms of like that Man U game. Because I always look, being a supporter, and obviously playing there as well, but playing in an empty stadium when we've got to finals and stuff like that. You look at that away end; it's a steep away end, isn't it? That Bramall Lane end. Yeah. But the away fans look as though they're in the net.
Oh yeah, it's unreal. All of them down the bottom.
Yeah. Obviously, Man U have filled that bottom.
Yeah, I'll be honest, mate. A bit of a blur, really. I don't really remember. Yeah. Like, literally.
We didn't concede any at that end, did you?
No.
No,
All fans up. No, it's just a bit of a blur, really. But no, just a proud moment to make.
Your mum and dad will have definitely been at that one.
Mum and dad would say, yeah.
Because you'll know in good time you're playing with Dino, not
Mum and dad were Man U fans, they were away.
Of course,
So proud moment to do that, and also be part of that team that season. That unfortunately, obviously, the season got ruined by COVID, which was gutting, because in the return leg, I played at Old Trafford and there wasn't a soul there, and we got battered 3-0, and it was just COVID was crap. Like, let's be honest, it was rubbish.
It affected United as well, didn't it? It affected Sheffield United.
It did.
More than most, really. I think teams coming up from Championship, that buzz, the crowds, you just need that, don't you? And
lifted.
I mean, the thing is, I say we had an unbelievable season. Like, it would have been nice to
it was weird, actually, about the COVID season, because I can remember towards the end of the season, it was still empty stadiums. We actually had 2 great results. I think we beat Chelsea 3-0.
Yeah, we still had some unbelievable. Wolves last minute Eagles header. Yeah. I remember sat in the stand, and it was just weird. Like it was crap, mate. Like it was rubbish.
That as a sub.
It was horrible times for everyone. But obviously done really well that season. And
is that your favourite spell, Sheffield United?
Yeah, that was my favourite spell, I have to say. I've been fortunate to be part of some great dressing rooms and great times in football. And again, touch wood, I'm hoping I've got even more times going forward. And but yeah, obviously, so far in my career, that was special times.
Did we get a shirt in that manual game? Did you manage to get any?
Yeah, I got the hair shirt.
Did you?
Do you know what? He was good as gold. I remember asking him for his shirt. He's like, yeah, of course. So I went up to the change room, knocked, and he come out. I go, oh, sorry, mate. Yeah, I forgot it. Went and grabbed it, and yeah, it was nice.
Good.
Really? Yeah. But yeah, certainly the happiest times. And then obviously my time come to an end there. It was time to go, time to move on. But yeah, obviously, and then ended up signing for Coventry.
Mark Robbins.
Yeah, signed for Coventry, and again, what a dressing room! Great dressing room.
Bunch.
Like, yeah, I've been so lucky. Like, so my brother says, you always get good dressing rooms. I've been so
genuinely though. Off camera, you said that. When we were talking earlier.
Yeah.
You said how lucky you'd been in terms of like group of lads you play with. And stuff like
I've been so lucky over my career to have such good change rooms, and I've got friends from Sheffield United who obviously are become closest friends, and friends at Coventry and close friends, and even now the dressing room at Sunderland, superb. Like the lads are great lads, and even though a lot of them are, well, one of them's half the age, but they're top lads. And if you want to be a successful team, you boys know exactly what it's like. You have to have a togetherness.
Characters.
Doesn't matter how good your individuals are.
Massively important. And you can have all money in the world, can't you?
You can have all the money in the world.
And it does help. It does help, especially obviously at professional level. It does help. But if you haven't got that togetherness.
Yeah.
That for me is the key, because wherever I've been that's been successful, the team's been together, and that is a huge ingredient in being successful.
A couple of good years at Coventry, right? 2 years.
So the first season, I played pretty much every game. To be honest, I played pretty much every game. I think we finished sort of mid-table, upper to mid-table, and then second season, admittedly, I started the season poorly. I had a few things going on off the pitch that obviously people won't know about, and that's the thing, people don't know about a lot of the things. You just sort of turn up, you play footy, and that's it. You're a footballer, but
a lot of people think what they got to worry about. They're paid well, and it's still got life.
No, it wasn't. I started the season, and like I say, had a few things going on. The season, I had 3 poor games in a row, got dropped, and Ben Wilson come in, ended up keeping 22 clean sheets, got the Golden Glove, and we lost in the playoff final at Wembley to Luton.
Good game that, wasn't it?
Yeah, on penalties it was. Yeah, so I mean that's the thing. Like,
did you go 2-1 up in that?
We drew 1-1.
Who scored?
Gus Hayward scored. And I can't remember the lad that scored for them, but drew 1-1, went to extra time, and I ended up losing on penalties. But again, fond memories at Cov. The lads, brilliant lads. Some of my closest friends. And
Carl McFad's in there at times.
Fads was there. Fads is a top lad.
Did you just have Chesterfield?
Just on Chesterfield, yeah.
I saw him last year at a Ibiza Classics do Chatsworth House.
No way, yeah.
And I knew he and Ross were there, a couple of his old mates and that from coming through ranks at Sheffield when I went to the
Fads.
And he was saying I think he were a bit undecided at the time where he were going to play his football. Because Blackburn had offered him another deal, but I think Chesterfield were interested in him. He's just left Blackburn, I think.
Yeah, he just.
Has he gone to Chelsea?
Yeah.
So I think that were happening in summer like so, obviously.
No, but he's a top lad. But yeah, people like Fads and dressing room and that, characters like that were superb.
But again, I think the characters you spoke about, and not so much that they have come through non-league, but they are the older end, aren't they? Always had that mentality that's not what it is now. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, I say everything changes, and I'm more of the sort of older school mentality, and that's what football was for me. And obviously, it's changed a lot now, and it's only going to change even more. But yeah, that was I'd say for me, the happiest times in football, where I really was happy, was watching Braden when I was a kid. I loved it. I lived for it. I just loved everything about it. Being on the bus with the boys, being sat at the back of the
learning
bus,
so much,
learning an awful lot,
learning
a hell of a lot. They was probably my happiest times of actually
growing up and being
just growing up and being part of being one of the boys at a young age, looking up to all them lads. I loved it.
You're going further north though.
Yeah, I was getting further away. My mum and dad aren't too happy about it, to be honest. So yeah, obviously, had 3 years at Coventry. Last season, I'd say things didn't work out how I would have liked them to have done, but I stayed professional and still trained hard, supported the boys that played, and in the summer I had a few options, and then Sunderland come in, and Sunderland are a huge football club, and
cracking really, innit? They've been out of Premier League, innit, for
so long with the sport that they get.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge football club. The sport, we get 40,000 fans on a Saturday, and it's massive. And it really is massive living up there. They live and breathe it. And Sunderland come in, and I knew that I was good. I knew my role. As a number two to Anthony Patterson, who is a fantastically talented goalkeeper and a great crack, and he's going to have a hell of a career. I've done that role at Sheffield with Dino. At Cov, obviously, I went there to play, and then things didn't work out. But I've done that role in the sort of latter parts of my time at Cov with Ben Wilson and Brad. And I knew, I say, you get to an age. Obviously, I'm 34. Yeah, of course, I'd like to play.
Still looks 25, doesn't he?
That's the Isle of Wight tan.
24.
But so they explained to me what your role's going to be. So yeah, I was happy with that. I love helping. I thought if I can help in any way I can.
Played a few games, aren't you, this season?
Yeah. So obviously I come in to be number two, and Pato picked up a little injury at Luton, and they ended up getting 4 games in a row, and so they kept three clean sheets out of 4, which I was happy with. So I was brilliant, and it was just nice because, let's say, the last couple of years for me off the pitch have been not great, to say the least. But it was nice I hadn't played football. I hadn't played a league game for about 18 months.
Yeah.
Maybe even longer, maybe even 2 years, over 2 years. And it was just nice to be able to show I can still do it. Still do it, still play.
You need that for yourself, don't you, sometimes as well? It's not even about people around you, is it? It's about yourself. It's proving to yourself you've still got it. And when called upon, you needed. So
definitely, mate. Yeah. And it's nice because I come up here not knowing what to expect. Obviously, it's a really young group. I mean, Christ, am I going to fit in here? But do you know what? I can't speak highly enough. The boys are superb. There's some incredibly talented footballers there. I don't think they realise quite how good they are, which is a good thing. I think it was a good thing, and we just got to carry on doing what we're doing, and we got a great chance this season.
Yeah,
great chance.
Absolutely. And I think in terms of like Patterson, who plays it net at minute, they must have turned down some offers for him because he's been fairly consistent,
really consistent
in the last couple of years in Championship.
Yeah, I mean, I personally don't know if there's been any offers for him. It would surprise me if there has, because he is a top goalie. He's got a great temperament. He's a very talented goalie, and he's a top kid. And you got the likes of Pato, who's played nearly 150 games for Sunderland now. Dan Neal, the skipper, he's 22 years old. He's played over 150 games for Sunderland. That's unbelievable at that age. And this is what I mean with some of the boys. They don't realise just how good they are, and they're very grounded. And they got some special talents there. But again, team spirit. We brought in players as well. Chris Mepham.
I was just about to say, Chris Mepham.
Brilliant.
Reminds me of Bash a little bit.
Yeah.
He plays a little bit.
Yeah, plays a little bit like Bash. Yeah. But he's what a guy. What a lovely lad. But what a very, very good footballer as well. So now we've got a good balance, and we've got some players coming back from injury now as well. So I say, you know what the Championship's like. It's a really tough league. And
so ideal situation. Sunderland, Sheffield 1-2.
Oh yeah.
I'm the way around. 1-2 other way around. Yeah. They're both red and white.
Right. It's still an absolute
perfect scenario.
Yeah.
Perfect scenario.
Worst case scenario.
Playoff
final.
Yeah, that'll be a sticky one, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Be a sticky one.
It would if you're playing.
Oh yeah.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Wembley playing for Sunderland, United's your opponent.
I mean, to be fair though, at Wembley, I'm due. I've been there 3 times and not 3 times, so
I think United are as well, aren't they?
Oh yeah, of course they are. I think it was the last time. Well, to be fair, obviously last game Sheffield was at Wembley. It was Man City, wasn't it?
Yeah. And then time before that were a really good game. I think that was 5-3 to Hull in the semi-final at FA Cup. But
that was it.
I've watched them in 4 playoffs, and I've never seen them score. Never mind win a game. They lost 1-0 to Crystal Palace. I went to that one in 1991. That were the old Wembley. That were David Hopkins.
Yeah.
David Hopkins, man, we like the toothless.
Yeah, 88 Crystal Palace, 88 minutes. And then I went to watch, I think they lost 3-0 to Wolves at Millennium Stadium. They were 3-0 down.
Matt Murray got, I think.
Yeah, 3-0 down in sharp time. And then I thought, go on, I'll try it again. And went to Wembley, they lost 1-0 to Burnham, and Burnham got promoted.
Yeah.
Wayne Elliott
scored. I played with Wade.
Did you?
Yeah.
But he scored a screamer. The funniest thing about it is, the Saturday after he'd scored, I think it was a Bank Holiday Monday game, that they used to do over a Bank Holiday weekend, didn't they? I was gutted, because United had got so close to being back in Premier League, and then obviously they dropped off really bad, and then obviously got promoted when Simon was there and that. But I went to a stag do to Magaluf on the Saturday, and I'm in this club, and we all my mates, I'm bustling to get to the bar, and I think I got either a short t-shirt on, or I've got a Sheffield United tattoo. Wayne Elliott turns around from bar, he was there, and I went, oh, you. And he was a really decent kid, like, he says, do you want to be here? He says, I'm sorry. I'm like, it was a cracking finish, wasn't it? But he turned around, he seen tattoo, and I went, you, and he went, oh my, and he went, because only 3 or 4 days in it.
Nah, Wayne is lovely. Lovely guy, yeah.
Great.
So, some career,
and it's still continuing, mate. So we wish you every success.
Cheers, mate.
For rest at Caesar and beyond, wherever it takes you, mate. Thank you for coming on.
Pleasure, lads.
Top man.
Cheers. Absolutely.
Cheers.